stop telling others how to feel. When I got diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, uh, I got a lot of very nice messages from a lot of people who were really understanding and supportive. And then I had a couple of friends who sent me messages saying, be positive, it's gonna be okay. And that made me so mad because I felt like that was so disrespectful to my feelings, and that did not leave space for me to feel what I was feeling. Like, I felt like I had to jump to the stage of being positive, which I wasn't. I mean, I was grieving. I was grieving the life that I thought I would have for something that I didn't know I would have or not. I didn't know what would happen. So that was hard, and so I was going through denial. I was scared, I was anxious, I was angry, I was frustrated, I was numb, and that again and again and again. And so when I got those messages, which I would characterize as toxic positivity, because you're asking people to jump to the positive without acknowledging their emotions, their experience, what they're going through, it made me mad. And I know those people had great intentions, but I think it was unhelpful. Even if you have a good intentions, like, don't be that person. Like, if your friend is going through something hard, ask them, how are you doing? What are you feeling? Like, what can I do for you? How can I support you? Don't jump to, you know, what you would like to happen. And in this case, I think I was a mirror for these people. I think for some reason, that scared them, and that was also a way to put a barrier between us. Like, I'm not saying they're bad people, they're definitely not, and I'm friend with them, but it was hard. And I think in our societies, to be honest, I think we're not super comfortable with emotions. I think it's becoming a lot better. I think kids seem to be learning to name their emotions today and to learn to become comfortable with them. But so since we're not comfortable, like, people tend to not even be aware of their emotions. And I think I've learned to become aware of my emotions. I've learned to see them as a message, as it's not positive or negative. It's my body who's telling me how I am feeling about something, and then I get to decide what to do with it. I saw this theory somewhere that if you focus on the feelings that an emotion is giving you in your body, so if your stomach is tight, if your throat is dry, then in 45 minutes or 45 minutes, oh god, no, 45 seconds, 45 minutes would be long, or 90 seconds, the emotion will go away, and then you can just choose to let it pass, or you can choose to act on it. But even though I've learned to become very aware of my emotions, to name them, to leave space for other people's emotion, I'm also not perfect. First off, we feel so many emotions every day, like, I wouldn't be able to stay in sync all of the time. But the other thing as well is I tend to get frustrated with people who can't name their emotions, which isn't fair. Again, like, a lot of us have never learned how to do this. I did not know how to do this as a kid. And so, for instance, like, I know I will tend to tell people, are you feeling frustrated? I feel like there is frustration. And sometimes just saying that to people will make them feel even more frustrated. To be fair, but I still want to make space for that, ask them, and that's okay if they shut me down. And I think it's also important to respect when what people decide to do with their emotions. But I'm babbling and kind of losing my train of thoughts. But just to say that I'm not perfect either, but I think anything you will do to become closer to your emotions, anything you will do to understand them better, will help not only you to feel better, to process things better, but also people around you. And you can also be some type of example, of how it can be to live more harmoniously with your emotion, how it can be to learn to name them, while still respecting other people's boundaries and how they decide to process or not process something. I I have someone very dear to me who's going through the same experience that I have gone through, and one thing I'm not doing is telling them what to do or not to do, because I know everyone has solutions when you get a diagnosis. Like, everyone has solutions for you. Have you tried this? Have you tried that new diet? Have you seen this? Have you seen that? Not that it's not bad. Like, I did a ton of research, so I'm very open to hearing things. But there is a time and place, and sometimes it's very overwhelming. So I'm more of like, hey, I'm here. How are you doing? I love you. Like, that person knows very well everything I know about multiple sclerosis, everything that I've done. And I'm just trying to be there for them, but, and just let them tell me what they want or don't want. But even in that case, I message them every day. I want to know how they're doing every day. And I was thinking yesterday, looking back at when I got my diagnosis, I was really happy to get messages from people, but also I kind of wanted to take it at my own pace. So I wanted to ask people. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a lot of emotions when you think about it. Like, I didn't want to be overwhelmed with messages, but also I felt sad when I felt that some people didn't take enough news. Like, emotions are tricky. Emotions just are complex. Tricky isn't the right word, but they're complex. Like, you can feel, I don't know if you can actually feel two things at the same time, but if you can't feel at the same time, I feel like you can feel them very quickly. Like, maybe you feel angry 1 second and very stressed the next. I don't know how it works. I should probably go look at it into more details. But at least if you get out one thing out of this video is that whatever you do here will help. Whatever you learn to do will be helpful for you and for others. And you will be wrong sometimes and you will mess up and it won't be perfect and you won't do it every day. But becoming more aware of my emotions and being able to recognize emotions in other people's and to name them has really helped to diffuse how I feel at times, diffuse how others feel, and it just made my life better overall. So, but it's also going through that experience of getting that diagnosis and having to deal with my own emotions and everyone's emotions has really taught me that it is so important to try and not tell people how they feel and to leave them space to tell you how they feel, what they need. Multiple sclerosis really was for me a crash course into learning how to say what I want and setting boundaries. Like, I remember my mom was abroad when this happened and she asked me, do you want me to come home? No, she didn't ask me actually. But I told myself, like, I would like her to be here while I am going through this. And so I asked her if she could come home, being totally okay with the fact that she might said she couldn't. And she really wanted to, but ultimately she wasn't able to. But I didn't resent her for it. I would have resented her if I had not asked, but I had expected her to do it without asking. But in that case, I asked, and I was okay that the answer could be no. But at least I voiced my desire. I said what I felt, what I needed. I think that's like communication as well. When you become more aware, you're able to communicate what you want, what you need. I know I am also often, I expect the person closest to me, my partner, for instance, to anticipate my emotions, especially when I am tired going through my periods. Like, let's be real. But I think it's unfair. I think the person that knows you best will pick up cues, but expecting them 100% to know what you're feeling and what you need is unfair. And so I think, again, like, when you start to understand yourself better, you can start also to set better boundaries and to ask for what you need and tell others what you need. And that is super important because communication is everything when being with other humans. I think a lot of conflicts happen because of a lack of a communication, because of a lack of awareness of how one's feeling. Because, like, have you seen the workplace when sometimes, like, you are so pissed at a colleague, and instead of dealing with it, like telling yourself why am I pissed and sharing feedback and dealing with it, you let it fester, and then you will see at some point, like, you will get really mad or you will get really sad or you will get really angry, all because it festered. All because you didn't want to share it initially because you thought, oh, it's no big deal, but actually it was a big deal for you, and your emotions were telling you it was a big deal. And the fact that you didn't say anything, it compounded to something even bigger. And so becoming more aware of your communications, of your emotions, becoming more aware of your needs, desires, boundaries, and learning to communicate them will make your life so much easier. And this is hard work. This takes practice. This is not perfect, but it is so worth it. So if you want to go on that journey with me, if you've taken something from this video, which again is just my experience, but I hope it's helpful, please subscribe, leave a comment. I'm just so happy that you're here on this journey with me, and hopefully we can help each other out. And I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow, hopefully. Have a great day, and talk to you soon.